Hello, everyone. So this is the first assignment for our brand new unit of looking at fake news and bias in reporting. So I think you guys will enjoy this unit. It's very cool. It's very modern, very current, and it's going to spark a lot of interesting discussion, I think. So for this first activity, we need to first look at what even is fake news, right? And how do you decide whether or not a source is reliable? So the Schoology setup is a little bit different. I'm hoping that with this new setup and having you make a copy of each document and submit it instead of the old way we used to do it, that there's less kind of glitches that happen. Schoology's been acting up a lot recently, so please be patient with me. Please be patient with the other teachers. A lot of grades aren't syncing and a lot of stuff isn't being submitted, so it's just been kind of weird. But for this assignment, you're going to go ahead and click right here, the reliable or not activity, and it's going to prompt you to make a copy of this Google document. And so you're going to make a copy. Make sure you title it something so that you can find it later when you submit it to the submission at the bottom. All right. So for this, you will see a table, and it's called Reliable or Not Online Information Evaluation Tool. So your directions at the top, you're going to evaluate two sources, just two. Below, which one or more of the criteria does it fail? And these are the criteria going down in these columns. Why? Why does it fail? Number your responses in the table as you answer each question. So over here on the left of the table, you'll see 4 sources. So you're going to choose 2 of these 4, and it could be, 5. 5 of these sources. You're going to choose 2 of these 5, and you can choose either any that you like. I just wanted to include enough options for you guys to hopefully appeal to your different interests and stuff like that. So take a look at these. You're going to click on them. They're all linked, and you're going to go through these sites, and you're going to answer these questions in the columns, or how the instructions call it, the criteria. So the first one is, what is your first reaction / personal bias? Are you angry, curious, excited? Misinformation often makes us feel uncomfortable or emotional about a topic. Are you answering or hoping that it's true, the topic, or that it's false, why or why not? So when you go through, you're going to number your responses for each of these criteria. Determine the purpose of what you're reading. Is it a news report, an opinion, an advertisement? Is it based on actual evidence? What do you know about the source where the information is found? Is the message overtly or aggressively partisan? Partisan meaning basically like it takes like a certain side, right? Especially with politics now, how both parties are more divided now than they've really ever been. So does it take a specific and explicit side, and does it use loaded language? Remember, we talk about loaded language, which evokes an emotional response in your reader, where maybe you're exaggerating, or you're very emotional, or you're very angry when you're writing. That's loaded language. In this column, you're going to look for more information about the topic. So that's going to require you to go to another source. This is teaching you how to be a digitally literate reader, right? Whenever we look at a single source, we never just read that source and accept it as fact, because nowadays you can't really, right? And not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but you just, with anything, you need to look at multiple sources in order to kind of get a bigger picture and different pictures so that you can decide the truth for yourself as well. So this is going to ask you, are there other news sources, other websites reporting this? If so, who? And you're going to link the site. So you can just do a Google search. Maybe you go on history.com for Christopher Columbus and see how that's different than this site that's linked. Then, do you realize, or do other reliable sources say whether it is true or false? Whether this is true, what you learned about this topic that you learned is true or false. Can you confirm key details, date, time, location, and people? So that's when you're looking at your other site or your other source, if that information matches up. If not, you're going to say if it fails and how it fails, right? No, it fails because it doesn't even mention this person. Lastly, for the 2 sources you choose, you're going to fill out this conclusion. Is your source reliable? How do you know? And I'm not grading on your ability to make this 100% foolproof of whether or not you're able to decide if a source is reliable or not. What I'm looking at is your critical thinking skills and your justification, basically your evidence of how you decided whether or not this source was reliable. That's what I'm looking at. Because remember, this fake news and these unreliable sources, they've tricked full-grown adults. They trick 80-year-olds. They trick Stanford college students. So that's not what I'm looking at. Instead, what I'm looking at is your quality of thought and your critical thinking skills. All right, so that's the first assignment for this week. And please email me if you guys have any questions, and I will see you on Zoom.